Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. My name is Olivia. Today is Friday, June 3rd, and I am back for my stitching update. It has been 2 weeks since my last one, so I hope you have all been well and you've been stitching, making, and creating all of the things. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. This is a video podcast where I talk about my cross stitching as well as my quilting. However, if quilting is not something that you're interested in seeing or hearing, I show it a little bit later on in the video, and I let you know in plenty of time that they'll be making their appearance, so that way you can go on to the next Flosstube video. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. So how have you guys all been? I hope you had a wonderful 2 weeks since we last sat down to chat. Quite honestly, this video kind of snuck up on me. I can't believe 2 weeks already flew by. We're already into June, which is just crazy pants to me. But the past 2 weeks, I honestly can't tell you what it is that I did, because there was a lot that went on, but none of it like super fun. It was just life stuff. And but it did make the weeks go by really, really fast. And when I was thinking about today's video, I thought, oh my goodness, what do I have to talk about? Luckily, I do have some stuff to talk about, but I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who left such kind comments. In my last video, I showed my 2 drum finishes. One of them was my my Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. It was a piece that I had started back in 2017. I stitched 2 blocks in it, and it's just been sitting ever since. And I came to the realization that I was never gonna finish that piece. I just did not have any love for it anymore. And instead of just taking it and shoving it in a drawer and forgetting about it, I decided to turn it into a drum. I was a little nervous about the feedback I would get, because I know that some people always feel really strongly about, finishing all of your stuff to completion, and the fact that I didn't, I was worried that I would be viewed as a huge failure. But I was very happy about all the very positive feedback I got, and I will take a positive comment any day, because in my last video, the keyboard trolls came out to play. So I spent some time deleting some not very nice comments. And it just happens that way sometimes. It's been a while since I've had any negative comments, and I honestly think that I sort of made the universe send them my way, because in my mind I was thinking, man, it's been a long time since I've had somebody, be really negative, and then there they were. So, but it is part of the job, when you put out something into the social media universe, you are gonna occasionally get some comments that I believe are totally unnecessary. But anyway, I just kind of read them. One I might respond to a little sarcastically just because, but for the most part, when I see them, I just delete them. And then YouTube does give me some tools where the people that do, it's nobody I recognize, but they have to get my permission before they can post a comment next time. So that's not an invitation. I do not want you to send me a nasty message. Just please don't. But yeah, I guess I was due. Anyway, but for the most part, 99.9% of the comments were very positive and uplifting, and I thank you guys so much. I think today's video, I'm just going to dive in. It is about 11 o'clock. It is a little early for me to be recording a video. I wanted to start at 10, and I tried my hardest, but didn't quite work out. But it is still morning here. Brian went off to do the grocery shopping, so I am just here with the Fredster, who's taking a nap on the couch. And I could have swore when I was at the other end of the house, I could have swore Brian had come back, because I heard what sounded like footsteps and something dropping. So I thought maybe he'd forgotten something. And I came walking out, and he's not here, and it's just the Fredster and I and the birds and the lizard, and there's nobody here. So I'm assuming it was ghosts. All right, so in my last video, I talked about a couple of stitch-alongs that were coming up. One of them I'm hosting, and the other one I am participating in. The one that I am hosting starts June 14th, and the chart is Blue House Neighborhood by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And I think this piece is the perfect piece to kick off summer stitching. I'm really excited to start stitching this one, and I'm pretty positive I have decided when it is done, I will turn it into a drum because I'm crazy for them. The linen I will be using is a piece of 32 count doubloon by Picture This Plus, which is one of my all-time favorite linens. And there's no great way to show the threads because I should have put them on a ring and I did not. But these are the over-dyed threads. So a lot of red, white, and blue, which I love. And some of the DMC. I shouldn't say some of the DMC. These are the called for DMCs. So great colors. I cannot wait to start working on that, and it'll be here before I know it. I think I will start it before, I think the 14th falls before my next video, or sometime right around there. But I'm really looking forward to starting it, and so many of you guys have said that you are looking forward to joining me. Deanna, who is the designer behind Cherry Hill Stitchery, so very generously shared a coupon code. So if you go to her Etsy shop, which is Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I will put a link to her Etsy shop down below, but for anything that you purchase out of her shop, if you put in the code PumpkinHollow10 at checkout, you will receive 10% off your purchase. So that is so wonderful and kind of Deanna to do that. Definitely go check out her shop, even if you aren't going to participate in the stitch along. She has a lot of amazing charts to stitch. In her Etsy shop, she only does PDF downloads, but you can purchase paper copies from your favorite local needlework shop. If they don't have them in stock, you can have them contact her and she will send them to your local needlework shop, or the Fat Quarter shop does have them in stock. So I will make sure to put a link to both her Etsy shop and the Fat Quarter shop, which does have her charts as well. You just can't use the coupon code there. You can only use the coupon code in her Etsy shop. So definitely go and check out all of the wonderful charts that she has to offer. And I hope you guys will join me. And I'm so happy that so many of you guys already are planning on it. But I hope a lot of you guys, maybe if you're on the fence, maybe you will. All right, so the stitch along that I am participating in is called the Boo Crew Mystery Stitch Along, and it is being hosted by the Fat Quarter shop. I checked yesterday, and as of yesterday, there still is not a start date for this one. I believe they are still waiting on some supplies, but I know that it will be starting at some point very soon. But I'm looking forward to starting that one, and no surprise, when I get it done, I also will be turning it into a drum as well. But I'm looking forward to working on this one. I meant last year to participate. I think this is the second year that they've done a mystery Halloween one, and last year, I think when it came around, I had too many things going on. I wasn't able to participate. So the fact that this year I'm able to participate, I'm really looking forward to it. As you know, honestly, I could stitch Halloween year round if I had a mind to. So I'm looking forward to working on it. It will run for 4 weeks whenever it does start. There's a lot of Flosstubers participating. And I think you can follow the hashtag BooCrewSAL, and you'll see all of the different Flosstubers on Instagram. If you put in that hashtag, you'll see the different ones who have posted. Using the hashtag, you can see some of the ones that will be participating. I haven't done it yet. I'm a little late, but I do need to post that I am participating in it as well on Instagram. But I cannot wait. I did decide to swap out the linen. So they had sent me a piece of the Peaceful Purple 14 count Aida, and I decided over the past couple of weeks to swap it out for some linen because I do want to turn it into a drum, and also because a lot of my Halloween is very like vintage, rusty crusty. So I wanted it to fit in with all of that. So I pulled a piece of 36 count Shrekie's tan, and in the viewfinder it's showing up brown, but in person it's greenish brown. So I think it will look really, really good. So I will be stitching it on that. And then these are, and again, there's no great way to show these threads, but these are the called for over dyed, and they're just all in all of those wonderful, amazing Halloween colors that I love. So I am looking forward to starting this. I cannot wait. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And I also like the fact that it only runs about 4 weeks. So both this one and the Blue House Neighborhood will be my morning stitch, and I'll just kind of rotate it in and out as I need to. But I'm really looking forward to start working on both of those very, very soon. Now, before I forget, the Boo Crew Mystery Stitch Along is a free SAL that you can join. And whenever they do announce the date, whatever that date is, they will post the first clue on their blog, The Jolly Jabber. So I will put a link to the blog down below. I know you can purchase some of the supplies in the Fat Quarter shop. However, I believe that they are still waiting for some supplies, which is why they haven't announced the date. And if they did today while I'm recording this video, I will of course scroll the date, but when I checked it yesterday, they had not posted a date of when it would start. Quarter Shop did send me a kit to give away, which I am going to do right now. And I just want to say that I really enjoyed reading through all of the comments. The question that I had asked was, do you hang cross stitch in your bathroom? I know it was such a weird, random question, but I have a half bath, which is just a sink and a toilet. There's no shower, and it's got a couple of really great walls that I think would work perfectly for cross stitching. And I was just curious if anybody did. I would say the responses were about halvesies. Some of you do, a lot of you will never. And then there were some that had never thought about it, but now are considering it. So thank you to everyone who answered the question. A lot of the questions made me laugh out loud. For instance, a lot of my friends that live over in the UK looked up what a half bath meant because in England they call it a cloakroom, which I actually think that's an amazing word for a half bath, and I don't know why we don't use it here in the States. It used to be called a powder room, which I also think is pretty awesome, and I remember hearing my grandma call her bathroom a powder room. But I don't know why we call it a half bath. I think we should call it a cloakroom because I like that much better. Okay, so enough bathroom talk, right? So the giveaway winner will receive a piece of the 14 count Ada, the DMC floss pack, the pumpkin needle minder, and then there is a little ghost keychain or key fob, as well as a project bag. So the winner is Cress Cat 15, and it's spelled CRESCAT 15. So congratulations. If you can get a hold of me via email, I will put my contact information down below and send me your address. I can get this kit on its way to you, so that way hopefully you can get it before the stitch along starts. And again, thank you so much to everybody for playing. I do have a giveaway that'll be a little bit later on in the video, but all right, one last little piece of housekeeping. I was contacted by Artie, who is the vintage stitcher here on Flosstube as well as on Instagram. And she wanted to get some of her Flosstube friends together to do a pincushion challenge over the month of June. And I was really excited that she asked me because I never get asked to do anything. And I just thought it was so cool that she thought of me. But basically, it's not something that there's any rules. It's meant to be fun, and the Flosstubers that are participating are either going to show some of their vintage pincushions or maybe some of their pincushion making plans or tutorials or things like that. So the Flosstubers, as of today, that are participating are Janet Jabber, Annie the Proper Stitcher, Christopher of Chris X Stitches, Artie, of course, and then myself. And so I will put a link to all of their Flosstube channels down below. They're all wonderful Flosstubers, so if you have not had a chance to check them out, definitely go and watch their videos. So pincushions. Pincushions aren't something that I really collect a lot of, only because I don't really have any place to store them, but I have started to collect some vintage ones that I come across in my travels. Last year, I went to one of my local antique shops that sadly burnt down in October. I was so super bummed that it did because I absolutely love shopping there all the time. And there was like a cluster of shops, and it was an old granary, because my grandpa used to go there to get seed. So it was like a seed granary, that type of place. And I remember going there a lot as a kid when I was with my grandfather, and he would go get seed and fertilizer and things like that there. And so the fact that they had turned it into an antique shop, and then there was like some other shops in there too, was just really, really cool. And I really enjoyed, walking through there. Even if I didn't buy anything, I really enjoyed walking through there. And the last time that I was there, I had found some vintage sewing items, and one of them was this vintage tomato pincushion, which is one of my favorites. And a lot of times it hangs out here in the trench bowl, and I love decorating with it, and it always just makes a nice little addition. And then last year we went to the Aurora Colony, which is just up the road from me in Aurora, Oregon. And they have a ton of vintage shops there, and it's so much fun to walk through all of them. And I was down in the basement of one of my favorite ones, and I came across this pincushion. And I couldn't leave it behind, and so I bought it, and it also is in the trench bowl as well. So these are the only two vintage tomato pincushions, but when I do find them, I will purchase them. What will I do with them? I don't know, but I definitely do decorate with them. So I'm not planning on doing any pincushion tutorials, but I do have a couple of ideas, and one of the ideas I'm starting to get a little low blood sugar because I didn't eat breakfast. So my words are like tripping over themselves. But a couple of months ago, Sherry had sent me a box of goodies. And one of the things is this vintage style pincushion. And it looks like this. And she had picked it up somewhere along the way. And she wasn't planning on putting it together, so she thought maybe I would have fun putting it together. So when Artie had contacted me about about pincushion, participating in the pincushion challenge, I thought, it was totally meant to be. So inside, it's basically the kit. It's got everything I need to put the pincushion together. So I'm really excited to work on it. It is an older pattern, and so hopefully I won't mess it up too much. I'll probably be looking up a lot of the terms and the things to put it together, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. So it definitely, it's so funny how sometimes timing is everything. So I will be putting that one together over the next 2 weeks, and fingers crossed I will have it to show in my next video. And then I do have plans to make another pincushion. I just have to order a piece for it, and then I'll have it a little bit later on in the month. But Artie does have a hashtag, which the Flosstubers will be, when they do post their progress or what they're working on or their ideas or things like that, they will be using the hashtag Pincushion Challenge, and I will scroll it also. So if you're interested, it's only the 3rd day in June, so I don't know how much posting has been done. I meant to go look before I did my video and I forgot, but if you'd like to see what the other Flosstubers are up to, you could go check out their Flosstube videos, or you could hunt down you could search down the hashtag and then see. And I do plan on posting. When I do get mine done, I will be using that hashtag. So thank you so much to Artie for organizing it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so thankful that she thought of me because, again, I never get asked to do anything. So I was really blown away that she asked me to participate. All right, so over the past 2 weeks, I decided to make a small adjustment to my stitching rotation. I previously had sort of looked at my stitching in a 2-week block because that's how I do my videos. So for 5 days, I would work on a project. Then that would bring me to like Wednesday and Thursday, which I would work on Autumn Hawthorne Hollow or an autumn piece. and then I would go on to another project for 5 days, and then again back to my autumn piece on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And I actually, a couple of my friends have started to do this, and I was really curious as how it would work for me. It seemed to work really well for them, and they just stitch on a 5-day rotation. So they spend 5 days on a project, rotate to another one for 5 days, and it's just 5, 5, 5, 5. And I thought, I'm going to give that a try, because I find that, especially with my autumn piece, I don't feel like I spend a lot of time on it. Like 2 days isn't enough for me. And so I have been doing that over the past 2 weeks. I find that I really, really like it. So I think it probably will, I think it'll stay. I enjoy spending 5 days on each piece. I feel like I make less mistakes that way. It could just be a fluke, but I did really enjoy having that 5-day rotation. So the first one is Ye Old Walter, Ann Thomas, 1854. Can't read backwards. By Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I am just stitching the middle motif, the bird, and then the floral vine around him, because I have a vintage oval frame that sits on a stand that he will be going into. And here is my progress. So last time, and the time before that, and the time before that, I had a heck of a time stitching him. I made a ridiculous amount of counting errors. There was a lot of ripping, a lot of frustration. And when he came around again in my rotation, I was actually a little bit nervous about stitching him again, because I honestly didn't know what I would do if the same problem continued to plague me. And the past 5 days working on him were a joy. The only mistake I bumped up against was a counting error that I had done previously. And I ripped it out. It was really easy to fix and restitch it. And it went really, really well. So what I did is I worked in this area here. I think I had just a little bit over here to finish. And but worked mainly in this area, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count Dusty Road linen by Seraphim Fabrics with the DMC that is listed in the chart. And I really love this piece. I had never planned on giving up on stitching him, but I have to be honest, if it had just continued to plague me with counting errors, I honestly don't know what I would have done. Probably had a nervous breakdown, but I absolutely love this piece so very much. I'm hoping the next time it rolls around in my rotation, it will continue to be easy stitching. There's just a little bit more up in here and a little bit more over here, and then that bottom will be done, and then I will work over here. So it's like a floral vine, so it's got some flowers and leaves, and it just kind of wraps up and it ends like somewhere over here. So I'm hoping to get this one finished maybe by the end of summer. There is a lot of stitches in this piece. It doesn't look like it, but when you're working over the top of it, there's a ton of stitching and a ton of color swap outs or color changes. But it's totally worth it. And I'm glad that it went so much easier to work on him, because honestly, I was so excited to start working on him because, I'd found the frame and he's perfect for it. And then just to be constantly plagued by counting errors, it was not fun. A lot of you guys had said, maybe I could make the chart into black and make a working copy of black and white. That is typically what I do, because I feel like working from black and white charts, I don't make as many mistakes as when I'm working on a color chart. But this particular one, the way that the background colors on the symbol are, it would just be one muddy mess of just a solid color, and it would be really hard to tell, to distinguish between. It would just be a mess. So I don't know if maybe I've gotten used to stitching with this particular chart, or if it just finally the universe was like, let's give this girl a break. But the stitching went so much better. But thank you for all of the suggestions. I mean, there was a lot of great ones, and a lot of them I had already tried and it just didn't work out. And I felt so much better when I would see a comment pop up of someone who had stitched them and had the same exact problem, and it made me feel so much better. So thank you for sharing that with me. Now, the next one is Autumn Mahogany Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. And I have to, how do I want to say this? Here's the thing. In my last video, I had showed the drum finish for Halloween Hawkburn Hollow, and I had said that in my Autumn Hawkburn Hollow, I am going to put the Halloween blocks back into it because I had taken it out because I was going to be working on Halloween at some point, and I was going to take these 2 blocks and put it in there. Well, the thing is, so you guys know I love Halloween. I love stitching it. I have a lot of Halloween that I have stitched. I have a lot of plans to stitch Halloween pieces, large Halloween pieces, small Halloween pieces. I mean, I love it. But the one thing that I really, really, really lack is autumn pieces. And so that is why my Autumn Hawkburn Hollow piece was just going to be the autumn blocks. And I was going to leave those Halloween blocks off. Now I realize I'm the boss of my own decorating and I could leave it up with the Halloween stitching in it. However, in my brain, when a holiday ends, it gets all put away and the next one comes out. And I don't know what it is about me that I can't leave it up past the date. I don't really understand why, but that's just the way my cookie crumbles. And I know that if I leave the 2 Halloween blocks in there, I would feel compelled to put it away. And a lot of you guys are probably like, Olivia, you're a dork. You're right, I am. But that is honestly just the way that my brain, that's just the way I am. So I am actually going to take the Halloween blocks off again. So I only have 3 blocks left to go. At some point, if I do decide to stitch Halloween at Hawkburn Hollow, then the 2 blocks will go in there. However, I am actually thinking about stitching the witch all by herself and making her into a small for the trench bowl, because I mean she would be about this big, so I think she would be perfect. But here is my progress. So I was able to finish this block down here. I did swap out a bunch of colors, so I will talk about that here shortly. But I absolutely love how the block turned out. I love the mustard colored covered bridge. In my town, if I have, if I was able to, make a town, I definitely would have one in my town. But I really, really do love it. It was so much fun to stitch. I know it took me a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated. There's a lot of stitching in this particular block, but I think it turned out so very awesome. And I just love the whole thing. I cannot wait to get it done. So at some point, I will move to the block that's over here, and then I just have these 2 down here, and then I will be done. And I already have some ideas for framing. I'm hoping maybe to find a jigsaw, I believe that's what it's called, and that will enable me to maybe make some sort of a border at the top of the frame. So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to getting this one done, and I would like to get it finished before the end of the year. But I love it so very much. I'm stitching Autumn at Hawkburn Hollow on a piece of a 40 count Vintage Country Mocha with DMC Threads 1/2. And I believe that this particular one comes back into my rotation on June 12th. So I will have a little bit of progress on this block down here in my next video. Now that I am done with that particular block, I thought I would share what some of the color changes were that I made. So the first thing that I did was the field that is behind the pumpkins, as well as down here, which I had a subscriber send me an email and let me know that these are actually haystacks. So in the haystacks down below, and then the field behind the pumpkin, I used DMC 3011, which is one of my favorite greens to use. The next one was in the pumpkins themselves. I used DMC 3853 for some of them, and then there was another orange that was already part of the called for, and I used them So I kind of rotated. A couple of the pumpkins are in one, and then the other ones are in a different DMC. And then I did use one white pumpkin, which is just DMC ecru. The trees up here I stitched in DMC 4130, which is a variegated DMC color. Then in the stream down here, it was supposed to be a sort of like a, well, they call it an avocado green, very light. So it was like a green color. And I definitely did not want my stream to look green. So I stitched it in DMC 930, and I also removed the fish that were in there. So I love how this turned out. So super pleased, and I cannot wait to get back to it very soon. So I will make sure to list those color changes down below also if you are curious. And if I messed any of those color combinations up, then I definitely will correct it down below. But based on my notes, that's what I have. But occasionally I make a change and I don't write it down. So I will double check, and I will make sure that all that information is correct down below in the description box. All right, so for my last one, Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. So this was my New Year, New Start. I'm working on this with my friend Yvette, and she went and broke it up into 7 assignments so that way we would finish it in July. So I'm down to the last 2 months. I just have June and July, and then it will be done. I am stitching this particular piece in memory of my sister-in-law who passed away in November. So this is a very important and emotional piece for me. So last night I worked on the border here, and then I dropped down, worked on the border down here, and then started on the pot that is right there. So I just have to work on basically this section all right in here. And I have not personalized any of it yet, depending on how much time it takes me. If I'm able to finish this kind of ahead of schedule, then I will begin personalizing it. But otherwise, if it takes me the full 5 days to stitch it, then I will do all the personalizing next month. So once I get it done, all I have to do is stitch the Christmas garden down below and all the personalizing, and it'll be done. And I cannot believe that we're almost at the end. It blows my mind how quickly time has passed. So I'm stitching Christmas Garden on a piece of Dusty Road. It is a piece of 36 count Dusty Road linen by Seraphim Fabrics. I'm using Vicky Clayton silk, so it will be her silk conversion, and I'm stitching it 1/2. I really love this piece. I think it is just absolutely gorgeous. The colors are just so absolutely beautiful. And I enjoy working on it, even though for me I'm okay, but I know when I start personalizing it with her information and all of that, I think it'll be kind of sad. I mean, I know it'll be kind of sad, but yeah, I think she would have really liked it. And yeah, it's just a bummer all around. I am going to be making a change, which I know I have talked about this a lot over the course of all of my videos, and that is I will be adding a house to it. If you're new here and you haven't watched any of the prior videos, the last conversation that I had with my sister-in-law, she jokingly asked me if I stitch anything other than houses, and so we laughed about it. And so I thought that I should put a house on her sampler. So I have decided to remove the Christmas tree here, and I will be stitching the house from Our Lasting Friendship, and I will put it right here. Her name's gonna go across here, and then her date of birth and date of death. And then I will put the initials of her parents, her children, her husband, and I'm gonna go up here, I think it is. Yes, so up here there's some X's, and you can't really see them really good on the sampler, so I'm actually gonna go rip them out, and I'm going to stitch Gust right here. So still a little ways left to go on it, but definitely nearing the finish line. I have two options of frames that I'm thinking of making for it, and I'm just going to wait till I get it done and then audition them against it. I believe it'll be a piece that I hang up year round. So yeah, very pleased with the progress that I've made so far. I do enjoy working on it. Obviously the subject, I wish she was still here. So, but yeah, I think she would have really liked it. Okay, so a little bit of a pause there. Nobody needs to see me get emotional. So plans for the next 2 weeks. I will continue working on Christmas Garden. I will be working on Thankful, Grateful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais, which I showed it in my last video. And then the Blue House Neighborhood will start on the 14th. And Autumn at Hawthorne Hollow will also come up in the next 2 weeks, I believe. I accidentally cleaned off some stuff and my book of days went out in the other room. But I'm pretty sure that's the way everything breaks down. I'm looking forward to working on all of it, and I really feel like that 5-day rotation is going to work for me. And I've been enjoying it so far because, again, I get to spend a little bit of extra time, especially on my Autumn at Hawthorne Hollow, because I do want to get that done before the end of the year. And each one of those blocks, they do take a little while to put together. So I feel like the 5 days will give me a really good opportunity to really get some progress on it. So I did have a start and a finish over the past 2 weeks, and that is Simple Harvest by Blackbird Designs. It is out of the booklet, is it With Needle and Thread? Something like that. I'll scroll it down below. I can never remember the title of it, but I borrowed the chart from a friend of mine because I absolutely had to stitch this one after seeing Christy from Daisy K's Primitives. In her last video, she posted a finish of it, and I just absolutely loved it, and I had to have it, and my friend let me borrow it. So thank goodness she did. But I really enjoyed stitching this one. It was my morning stitch, and then I kind of rotated it in and out of the evening as well. I worked on it for a little while here and there just so I could get it done. It's another one that is going to hang in my bedroom. The frame is one that I repurposed from one that I already had. It was white. I painted it black and then I sanded it to sort of get the white to show through distressed. I was going to use some of the antiquing wax to sort of, make it look vintage, but I liked the way it looked with the white showing through. I stitched it on a piece of 32 count Autumn Fields. I'm not sure who the dyer is, but I know it was Autumn Fields. And I stitched it with Weeks Dye Works Onyx 1/2. I really, really love it. I think it turned out so great, just very classic. Right, so this video also has a giveaway, and this giveaway was donated by Cindy. She had sent me a box yesterday of a quilt to quilt for her. And she also sent me some other goodies, which I will show in the quilting part of the video. But she sent a chart or a kit for me to give away. And since I'm doing a video today, I thought today's the day. So she sent me the chart, May Trucking Along by Stitching with the Housewives. She also sent me the 14 count chalkboard Black Ada and the classic colorwork threads to stitch it with. So thank you so very much, Cindy. All right, so the rules of the giveaway. You must be a subscriber, you must like the video, and of course you must answer the question down below, which is, since we're approaching summer, what is your favorite ice cream? And I tried to narrow mine down between these two, and I couldn't decide which one it was. But our local supermarket has their own brand of ice cream, and they have one that's called Mint Moose Tracks, and the kids really like it too. So we do get it a lot, and I absolutely love it. It's chocolate and mint together. It's a perfect combination. And then I also like butter. Is it pecan or pecan? I never know. My grandpa used to say butter pecan, and then of course here in Oregon we say butter pecan. Either way, it's absolutely delicious. So Those are my two. If you have two, you can definitely leave those down below. But I would like to know what your favorite ice cream is. Leave it down below, and in my next video, I will pick a winner. And thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much to Cindy for donating today's giveaway. Well, my friends, as far as all of the cross stitching goes, that is all I have to show and share in this video. And I realized that I got all the way through the video and I forgot to talk about the fact that I changed all of my decorations out. I did that this past week. I'm very late in doing it because I typically will do it sort of about the middle of May. And this year, for whatever reason, I did not. But I changed out, the trench bowl is changed out, which I think what I'll do in my next video is I will show you what is in the trench bowl. The tree is decorated. I still have the crows in there, but I've added some of my 4th of July decorations in it. I do thank you guys so very much for stopping by and spending a little bit of your time with me today. I appreciate it so very much. Hope you have a great 2 weeks. If you're interested in seeing what I have been working on quilting wise, just stick around. Otherwise, I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, let's talk about quilts. So, what have I been up to? So I've had a lot of client quilts that have come in, which is so very awesome. I was supposed to work on them this past week, and every day something happened that kind of pulled me away from my quilt machine. I was finally able yesterday to do some client quilting, and I will be doing it through the weekend as well because it's supposed to rain here, so no outdoor work can be done. So next week I will continue working on client quilts, but just having them come in has just been so amazing because I honestly, with the economy being the way that it is, I did not think I would see very many quilts come in. So the fact that they have been coming in, it's like a little bit of the burden lifted a little bit off my shoulders. So yeah, so I will be working on those for the next, well, at least next week. I'd like to try to get as many of them done as I possibly can. But quilting for myself. So my Jane Austen quilt, I get asked about that almost in every video, and I still have not quilted her. She's ready to go, but she is a larger quilt, so it's going to take me quite a bit longer to work on her. And I just have not had a good enough block of time to sit down, or not. It's not sitting down, stand. I haven't had a big block of time to work on her. And when I do, I definitely will, I'll show her off everywhere once she's quilted. So you'll definitely see her. I haven't forgot about her. She's hanging out underneath my quilt machine. I see her just about every single day. And I really do want to get her done and have her completed and in the house and wherever it is that I choose to decorate with her. A lot of you guys have wondered if she will be on my bed. No, she will not, because I have this adorable little dog named Fred. And he likes to go out and play in the dirt. And when he comes in the house and he's all wet and dirty, he goes right to the bed. So, nope. Maybe someday. But for right now, no. She'll just be for me just to enjoy wherever I choose to put her. So, what did I work on though? I decided to work on another month of the Civil War tribute quilt. So I finished month 3, which was dedicated to the Battle of Shiloh. And you made 4 blocks. They were 4 of the same blocks, but you made 2 12-inch and 2 18-inch. So here they are here. So the 12-inch blocks, I feel like I did a lot better job piecing wise. The directions are a little bit weird. I've become so accustomed to when you finish the different segments in quilting, it'll tell you like to square it up to this, or this is what it should measure, and the directions don't tell you any of that. So I can't really square any of it up because I have no idea what any of it's supposed to be until it's all put together. But it turns out to be the correct size, and that's all that matters to me. Here's another 12-inch block. I absolutely love these colors so very much. And this took me pretty much every single, well, I worked on it last week in the evenings as much as I could. I cut them all out and then I kind of worked on them here and there as I could. I wasn't able to work on it every single day, but you know, if I just made a little bit of progress on them, I was pretty happy. But each block did take me a little while to put together, but it's totally worth it in the end. And I'm glad that I have the 3rd month complete. I think the next one isn't too terribly bad, but the one after it and then the one after it, you have to make a bunch of blocks. So that one's going to take me a while. So over the past week, where I keep all of my fabric and my quilt machine and cross stitching and all of the holiday decorations and all of that is all out in the garage. I refer to it as the dungeon. However, lately it has become the pit of despair because it looks like a bomb went off and then it went off again and again and again. It is a hot mess out there, and I've been trying to go out and clean it and go through stuff and separate things out for project bags and stuff for donations and things like that, and it's taken a really long time because I no sooner get out there than I have to come in and do something else. So while I was out there, it reminded me that I did last year kit up a couple of things. So there are some kits that I thought I need to start working on some of these. I've only really been focusing on block of the months, but I'm like, I need to start working on some of this other stuff. So if you have been watching my videos, you might recognize this particular pattern. But this is called Coffee Beans. It's a Civil War Legacies pattern by Carol Hopkins. And I purchased this one from my local quilt shop, which is the Speckled Hen in Aurora, Oregon. And then I also picked up a few fabrics there, and then the rest I've used from my stash. So I did get some of the blocks done. I still have a little ways left to go, but they are teeny tiny. And so it'll just be a little table topper when it's done. Somehow it ended up being like blacks and indigos with cheddar. I think that's just my jam. But I love putting these together. They go together really fast. So I cut all of the blocks out, and then I've just been assembling them here and there whenever I have a few minutes. So I'm hoping in my next video that I will have the table topper complete, and it'll go right here on this table when I am done with it. I did get a little bit of Happy Mail from Cindy. So she sent me a quilt to quilt for her, but she also sent me a quilt kit. And Cindy is the one who sent me the Temecula album quilt that I finished and had hanging in my last couple of videos. It was such an absolute joy to put together, and so she sent me another kit, and she sent me this one. This is called the Mill Girls. It was a block of the month, I believe, back in 2012. And had I been aware of it back then, I most definitely would have signed up to sew this one together because I absolutely love it. So I will be working on this one at some point. I cannot wait. It's so very beautiful. So very beautiful. It was so generous of her to send it to me. And I'm not going to take all of the fabrics out just because I don't want to lose any of them. But here are the colors. It's not, I know I'm not doing a very good job of it, but it's all beautiful. Some of it's Judy Rothermel fabric, which I absolutely love her. Oh, and I just cannot wait. I'm so looking forward to it. And I've been looking through the pattern, and there's each pattern has some information about some of the women that worked in the mills, some letters that they wrote. So it's very, very exciting. I can't wait to get to it. It's going to be so much fun. It's another big one, so I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Cindy. And then she also sent me some fabric, some extra fabric. So this is the same fabric that is used in the border. Beautiful neutral. This one here, such a beautiful, perfect for borders. Some more neutral fabric. I love this one. Definitely have a lot of fun with this and a lot of different projects. Some more neutral. Oh, I just love it all so much. So beautiful. This one, which I love, which this is also in the quilt kit as well. And this one, which is also in the quilt kit as well. So like these ones, I think I might set it aside and put it with the kit just in case. It was so very generous of Cindy to send all of that my way. I'm gonna have so much fun putting the quilt together, just so absolutely generous. So quilting plans. I do plan to continue working on the Coffee Beans mini quilt until it is done. And then I do have May's, my May's Block Bonanza blocks to put together. So I hope to have those to show in my next video. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep trucking along and just keep working on whatever floats my boat. Having a lot of fun doing it. So if you've stuck around for this length of the video, thank you so very much. I do plan on being back in 2 weeks. But if you're curious about what I'm working on in between my videos, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, or I have a Facebook page which is called Pumpkin Hollow Quilting, and I will put a link to both of them down below. Otherwise, have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.